Hi, good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, Andy.
Good to talk to you.
It's great to see your face.
Yeah, I know we don't see each other very much in these days. I don't even remember the last time I physically saw you.
I think it was your apartment when we were playing Mahjong. That was when I met Vicky. I
Oh
think it was
yeah,
the last time
that
I
was one of the last in-person events I hosted.
was it January or February? Oh my God, I think that was like
Must have
January
been.
after
I
New
think
Year's.
it was before I went to Japan, so it must have been Feb.
Yeah, February. Oh my goodness.
Well, anyway, so this is the interview to get to know you a little more and also help some members get to know you as an organizer. So I have some questions that I'll ask you, and just answer however you want.
Okay.
Okay, so then kind of go digging back into the past. How did you first find out about Urban Adventure Club?
I want to say meetup.com. I might have saw an ad somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was not Airbnb like
Hmm,
experiences. It was definitely meetup.com. Yeah,
most
I think I signed up for both meetup.com and then I checked out your website and then
okay.
Facebook page. Yeah.
Then what was the first event you went to?
Actually, it was the Labor Day Tahoe long weekend where I met you and Alicia
Okay.
and yeah, so I knew all the big names, Renee and Philip, and we all shared a car ride with I forgot her name, Jen, the nurse,
Oh,
who
Jennifer
drove.
Beeman.
Jennifer, yeah. So it
Okay.
was a really good, like, I met Jackson on that trip. So, the French guy that sings that,
Oh,
um, yeah. So I feel like I could tell that there was a community brewing, obviously before I joined, but that was a good weekend. You guys all went wakeboard and I get to be the photographer. So it was a good experience for me to obviously get out of my group house and go enjoy Tahoe. That was my first, I think I had gone once before in February for a snowboarding trip. So that was my first UAC event was the Tahoe Labor Day weekend. We went up like 9 mile hike and I think your wife
yeah,
wanted to
yeah, yeah.
order an
That
Uber.
was a really good weekend. I had
That
some
was
really
a
good
great weekend. Yeah.
wakeboarding. And then, at what point did you decide you wanted to be an organizer?
I think maybe when you and I had discussed unfortunately I lost my job, so I was like, maybe we should stick to East Bay. It's a little cheaper to get around. And then you're like, why don't you host some East Bay hikes? And I started to do that. I think February at Skyline Loop was my second hike, and then the Nimitz Way was my very first, where I had three people. I had 18 on my second hike, but three on
Yeah,
my first hike. So
yeah,
it was a good compromise. I'm glad that you needed a East Bay hiking host because that was exactly where I'm located, East Bay.
right. I remember that hike with 18 people. It was just I was surprised how many people were signing up for it, but I think that just shows East Bay people want to hike and there aren't enough opportunities.
Well, there were a lot of people who commuted, but that one was fairly easy considering we had 20 people sign up, two people drop off, and then we lost two girls who just decided to go to the bathroom without telling anyone, but we found them later. So it was
Okay,
hurting 18 people was a bit of a challenge because I wasn't prepared for that, but it was a
sure.
good experience for me because it was, safety in numbers. It was the highest energy level, which was kind of fun.
Mhm. And then, yeah, you've organized a bunch of hikes so far. You've done other events too. What's the thing that you like most about hosting events?
I love my background is recruiting and creative, working with creatives, and I just really enjoy meeting new people. I'm curious about their backgrounds, where they came from. Like for instance, Sebastian is French and he's fairly new to the Bay Area. He works for a tech company and they moved him here from France. Toulouse is where he's from. So he was juggling the whole time during the hike. So it was kind of fun to meet someone new. You never know who's going to show up for my hikes. And I just love the variety of personalities and the fun things that we talk about. And everybody's really nice and they love to share their food or snacks, and they always want to go out for a drink afterwards, so I'm always up for sitting down and like having a snack or a drink afterwards, so that's sort of been fun for me.
Yeah, I think the personalities is a main draw for, I think for me too, is meeting all the interesting people and then knowing that some of these people will eventually be my friends if I, spend enough time with them.
Exactly. And what I'm excited about for this weekend coming up, the Stanislaw group house, is I've only seen Renee a year ago, but he's such a cool guy, and I was excited that he asked me to co-host because he's got a great reputation. Matt and his son Wiley like really love Renee, and when I mentioned his name, they started to giggle this last Sunday. So it's kind of nice to do things with other hosts as well. So I'm really excited for this weekend to co-host with Renee, who
Yeah,
hosts a lot of hikes in Marin. He's kind of an expert.
he is. Yeah, I think that you guys have some really good hikes ahead of you this weekend.
Yeah, and he's fun, really fun to work with. So I really enjoy sharing the hosting hat. So to speak.
Yeah, yeah, and I think as we get more into, I guess, more reopening and we can do more trips and explore all these places around us, it's really nice to go on hikes and explore nature.
Yeah, for sure.
What besides hikes, what else do you like to do, or would you like to host?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this yesterday, and I wanted to bring it up with you. I realized we don't have a lot of fishing trips, and I kind of love to do. It depends on the season, but I've been crabbing on Chrissy Pier with some colleagues when I was a design program manager, so I would take people out for
Mm,
fun excursions during the work week. And that was somebody else had hosted, but it was super cheap and easy and fun. Just get out away from your desk and go to Chrissy Field and learn how to crab.
Actually,
For
a guy who teaches that.
Yeah,
He,
I mean, it was completely free, but it's more expensive if you book it on like an
yeah,
Airbnb experience. But it's super cheap if you know the rules and the right season. So that obviously, dim sum was something I had lined up for April, which got canceled because of
yeah,
COVID. But things that I enjoy are like eating together. I do enjoy picnics, when we're allowed to do those, and I actually like long distance trips. Like I'm very excited. I've only been in the Bay Area for 2 years, but yeah, Yosemite's still on my bucket list, which I still haven't done. Stanislaus is like the closest I'll get to Yosemite this weekend. But I actually do enjoy the group houses, when they're, have a good mixture of personalities and they're organized well with like activities other people can do or choose to do. So Renee and I are trying to make sure people if they want to go hiking they can go with either one of us Saturday and Sunday. But
yeah.
there's kayaking, there's other things. I'm really excited about this yurt glamping trip where that one I'm the most excited about because I really have a thing for glamping. Flushable toilets are great. I'm okay with compost.
Yeah, it looks like a great campsite with a nice yurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got a brand new pizza oven, which is unusual for glamping, and a ball and claw bathtub right in the yurt. So that's very unusual, but very
Yeah,
appealing
yeah,
to me as well. So, and hopefully others.
yeah. So I think that's one of the not a problem, but we have so many events and so many different things that it's hard for people to even pick what to do sometimes. So for let's say a new member or someone who's thinking about joining the club, what would you give them as kind of some advice?
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm even in a pickle where I want to, go on the Yosemite, Labor Day trip, but funds are low for me, and I'm hosting a hike on that Saturday. So lots of conundrums. Like every time I want to do something, there are some great activities on the exact same weekend. So I guess some advice. I mean, obviously, it depends on my mood and my budget, what I can afford to do for each weekend. But I just like going out into nature. It doesn't matter if it's a hike or camping, but just exploring. The area for me has been like just a personal goal. Yeah, I mean, we do get a lot of emails in our inbox, so just watch out. Maybe ask questions if you're interested in something specific and you haven't seen it yet. would be some advice, you know, because you and I are organizers, but a lot of people can't see all the events that are coming down the pipe next month, you know, like this glamping trip. I've mentioned it, gotten some survey questions out to some people if they would be into it. A lot of people are into glamping, you know,
So
and a lot of people
you say
don't
new
even know what it
members
is.
should look look at the calendar more? Is that what it's?
I guess I think everyone's inundated with, you know, their inbox of activities, and I sort of just do a search for UIC events if I don't check my email every day. But my other advice is things are going really quickly because of the COVID, you know, the lower number of participants. So, you know, my advice is to, if you are interested in something, put it on, you know, sign up for the wait list, because there's been a lot of turnover with some hikes and things I've hosted. So there is a good chance that if you're on the wait list that you could be a participant. And then just ask each host. A lot of participants, before they sign up, they'll even ping me or text me and ask me about the trail. Dia did that before she joined. She didn't join the hike, but she wanted a longer hike. So I think it was a good idea for them to reach out to each of the hosts if they have questions about the hike before they sign up.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Is getting information directly from the host is usually the best practice.
Yeah, I was surprised because as a former recruiter, I'm used to getting pinged on my cell phone. So I was like, oh, well, can I ask who this is first before I start chatting with you? You know, because a lot of people have my number now. So I just need to know who they are before I start chatting with them.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think new members, it could be a lot to handle when they first join, all the events, email announcements. So I think signing up quickly for events that they want is probably the best thing to make sure that they get a spot, because events are smaller now and it's harder to get one of those spots.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're doing a good job with highlighting different hosts and what they like to do. You know, I'm starting to get to know more of the hosts and what they like to host. You know, like Francis is great. I'm glad that he's taken advantage of like hosting now, you know, because he had some great ideas. And yeah, I was encouraging him to, you know, talk to you about putting those things, because you're doing a great job of advertising on, you know, how to like, hey, you could be a host too, you know, and be instead of a participant, you know, be a little more in control.
Cool. All right. So I got one more question for you.
Okay.
It's if you meet someone who is interested in joining, what would you tell them to be the main reason why?
I think for me, I can only speak for myself, but I've really enjoyed all the activities I signed up for, meeting great people. The people have been pretty amazing, and people I definitely want to have long conversations with. You know, obviously some of the perks for me as a host is, you know, I get to see a little more of the organizing and, you know, maybe management of the teams and the events, and, you know, having a little more control. But yeah, ultimately the people have been great. You know, right now during COVID, the pandemic, everyone just wants to have some fun and relax and not really worried too much about things. So it's been a fun challenge to, you know, keep people safe and informed, and also let them, you know, blow off some steam. And, you know, I think hiking has been fun for me to allow people to just get out of their Zoom rooms or home offices and just get a forest bath. But yeah, the people I've encountered so far have been pretty fun and exceptional, and everyone's usually pretty happy and positive. So it's been good energy share.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I do feel like people are kind of happy just to be out and meeting other people, but at the same time, you know, knowing that we do observe social distancing and mask wearing, that they can do it safely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much for this interview and answering the questions. Hoping that members will see this and be excited to join you on your hikes.
Absolutely. Please come to my hikes. I can't wait to meet you. So thanks, Andy.
Cool.